Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Now I would like to talk about some major purposes of reading. We actually have a number of initial resolutions to make when we begin to read. Generally, we make such resolutions very fast. For example, when we read a newspaper, we usually open the front page with certain combination of search processing, general reading comprehension and skimming. Generally, we read for information, but at the same time we also read with a specific aim to finish the newspaper quite rapidly. In the beginning, we may search the front page for a specific story that we anticipate to be there. If the headline prompts us in the correct way, we may check rapidly for the length of the article, and we may then read through different paragraphs for comprehension. At some point, we make decision that we have enough information and will either stop reading the article or skim the rest of the part to be convinced that we do not miss some informative segments. In academic or professional settings, we sometimes acquire information from various reading sources. Reading in this kind of setting is relatively different from searching, skimming or reading for general comprehension. Under these circumstances, it is required to establish a more critical set of objectives for an effective synthesis, like the reader requires to remember points of comparison or contrast, evaluate the relative importance of the information, and develop a unique framework in which the information will be organized. These are the major purposes for reading. We can say that to identify specific information, to perform skimming rapidly, to learn from the text, to incorporate information, to analyze the text. For general reading comprehension, we cannot teach reading skills in the classroom without having the idea regarding the processes of reading. There are two main processes of reading: lower level processes and higher level processes. The lower level represents natural linguistic ability and it is considered as skill oriented approach. The higher level normally represents comprehension ability that make use of the reader's background knowledge and inferencing abilities. In order to understand both the processes, first of all, it is necessary to understand the concept of working memory. This video will help you to understand the role of working memory.
A student who can't read at grade level by 3rd grade is 4 times less likely to graduate high school than one who can. Despite approaches like phonics and whole language, many learners still struggle with reading. Research shows significant differences in working memory between skilled and less skilled readers. Working memory allows a person to temporarily hold and manipulate a limited amount of information. It's thought that readers with low working memory have difficulty combining new information with what they already know. To recognize the meaning of sentences while reading, students must first hold individual sounds and then words in their working memory as they figure out how these relate to one another. As learners grow and encounter more complex information, difficulties with working memory may become more apparent. What does low working memory look like? Students with low working memory may be easily distracted and behave as though they are not paying attention. In reading or writing, they may forget some or all of the words in a sentence or sequence of words, or they may lose their place, repeating or skipping letters and words. As a result, they may struggle to understand how sentences or words relate to one another. How can you support students' working memory? No approach will work for all learners, but there are some research-based approaches that can be helpful. Repeat instructions and break down complex tasks into single steps. Have students create organizers like wall charts and checklists they can refer back to and use to stay on track. provide options like audiobooks, manipulatives, or physical activities connected to learning, like walking or tossing a ball. These learning methods can help them focus. Reading skills are necessary for student success. With awareness and interventions, it is possible to help those with low working memory become proficient readers and improve their learning outcomes for the rest of their lives.
All active parts in working memory contain words, the emerging meanings of words, the information that is cued grammatically, and the formation of a text model of comprehension. As far as the lower level process is concerned, its activation is short, hardly 1 or 2 seconds, unless it is rehearsed. In the matter of higher level processes, there is a frequent reactivation of central ideas as long as reading is continued. Let us understand both the processes separately. Lower level processes. The basic requirement for effective reading is fast and natural word identification. Effective first language reader can identify almost all of the words they come across at the basic level meaning. They also distinguish 5 to 6 words per second on an average. An effective learner really focuses on a word and identify it in a few seconds. Hence, 5 to 6 words per second permits time to effective learner to perform other processing operations. In L2 reading context, remarkable less discussion is dedicated to this topic. Imperfect understanding of the role of rapid and natural word recognition processes in reading are the major causes of this avoidance. Moreover, this avoidance is also due to the remarkable problems involved in providing second language students with the practice, time and resources required to expand a very large recognition vocabulary. Word recognition abilities cannot be ignored if a goal is to help the students become fluent second language readers. Apart from word identification, an effective reader is able to take in and store words together so that basic grammatical information can be extracted to support clause level meaning. It is a process known as syntactic parsing. The ability to recognize word ordering, phrasal groupings and relations among clauses rapidly is what permits effective readers to explain how words are required to be understood. Syntactic parsing assists to remove uncertainty of meaning, a fundamental process that starts up naturally as the learners begin any reading task is the procedure to combine word meanings and structural information in basic clause level meaning units. Words that are identified and kept active for 1 or 2 seconds give the effective reader scope to incorporate information in a way that makes meaning in relation to what has been read earlier. When lower level processes are performing properly, they work together naturally in working memory. The second important process is known as higher level process. The coordination of ideas from a text that signify the main points and supporting ideas to form a meaning representation of the text is considered to be the most primary higher level reading comprehension process. Once clause level meaning units are designed, they are extended to a growing network of ideas from the text. The new clauses may be connected to the network in a number of ways, for example, through repetition of an idea, object, event or character. Less important ideas tend to lose their importance from the network, and only the more useful and important ideas remain active. When the reader continues to establish the overall comprehension of the text, the unit of main ideas that the readers establish is considered as the text model of reading comprehension. The situation model integrates text information with a well-developed network of ideas from the reader's background knowledge, and it interprets new information in the light of readers' background knowledge, attitude, motivations, goal, and task purposes. During the reading processes that occur at each and every 2 seconds, the effective readers focus on and access 8 to 10 words meaning. He or she parses a clause for information and form a meaningful unit. Figure out how to connect a new meaning unit into the growing text model. Check interpretation of the information according to their purposes, feelings, attitudes, and background expectations as needed. Monitor their comprehension, make appropriate inferences as needed. Shift strategies and repair misunderstanding as needed. Resolve ambiguities, address difficulties, and critique text information as needed.